ITTT, back this week with another live session. Happy November, everybody. It's the first Friday of a new month. I hope you had a wonderful Halloween. We're back this week with a Q&A live session, which means you guys can ask me your questions about TEFL, TESOL, teaching English abroad online, whatever you're curious about, ITTT courses, whatever it is. Today is your time to shine. You get to ask me your questions. So we're live on YouTube and on Facebook at the same time as always. If you're watching this for the first time, welcome, welcome. If you are here for not the first time, but a regular viewer, or you've watched a few times already, welcome back. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is a weekly thing. So yeah, when you're like the Facebook page, you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, you get a notification whenever we go live. You see what topic we talk about, and you can just get yourself ready for it and prepare. Also, I always start off my sessions by asking you guys, where are you right now? Where are you watching from today? Let me know. I'm in South Korea. It is 10:30 a.m. Friday morning. Yeah. And how about you? Where are you right now? Where are you watching from? What time is it? How are you doing? If you celebrated Halloween, what was your costume? I want to know. I'm curious. I did not dress up this year. We did not do anything. But I'm curious about you. Let me know in the comments. And we also, I'm just going to start off with that. We do have a 30% off discount code off of any TEFL or TESOL course from ITTT. Very exciting. We only share this discount code, this big discount code, during our live session, so it's very special. So whenever you're ready to sign up for a course, because we have different options, we can go over these options today if you're unsure which course might be right for you. But when you know, hey, this is the course that I want to take, use this link and sign up, and you save 30%. You can scan this QR code that you see right here, or I also have a link for you that I'm going to share in the comments right now, so you can copy and paste this link. It will lead you to the application page, and maybe I'll just walk you through how that looks like and how that works, so everybody kind of knows. So let me open up this link as well. As you can see, it ends with FB Live minus Linda. Click on that, and then you should see an application page. And I'm going to share my screen real quick just to show you how it works. Yes, so it should look like this. And I'm just going to make myself a little bit smaller so you can see that here. So when you click on that link, this is what you will see. And you see here right at the top, congratulations, you're being granted a 30% discount on every online course and on every in-class course deposit. So then you know it's the correct link when it says 30% up here. And like it says, the registration process is free. It's not binding. You don't commit in any way. And everybody fluent in English and aged 18 plus can apply here. There's no previous experience required to take the course. And if you register today, you also get a free e-guide covering the basics of TEFL TESOL. All online courses are entirely flexible and self-paced. So that means you work at your own pace, in your own time, from wherever you want, at home, on the go. You can have it on your phone, on your laptop, on whatever device. And you can also pay for your online course in 2 or 3 installments, and there's no credit check. So then you would go down here and you would fill in your info. So I'm just going to do that right now. And I'm just going to say, I'm just going to do like a test application so you see like what it looks like. So you fill in your name, your email address, and then you would you would choose your course. Here we go. We're going to do an online course, and we're going to choose the 220-hour master package. This is my favorite course. And then you could also pick a free course. So the CTEO, Teaching English Online course. You fill all of that out, and then you just hit register now and get certified to teach English abroad. and then it's going to load a couple of seconds, and then you'll see a new page in just a second. Loading. Your registration is being processed. Yes, and then it says your registration has been successfully submitted. And you see your name, email address, you have a registration number, and the course that you picked, and also how much you saved. So you can see we saved $105 with this discount code that I shared with you guys. So that's how it works. And then you have a couple of payment options. You'll also get an email with payment information. But yeah, lots of different payment information or payment options you can choose from. And then here it says once the transaction is completed, a receipt will be generated and emailed to you. You will also receive a username and password so that you can log into your control panel and begin the course straight away. So that is how it works, and you get 30% off. So use this code. This also works if you've already taken a course with us and you want to take another one, a specialized course, a follow-up course, whatever. You all can get 30% off, even if you're already a course graduate. So that is how it works. And then enough about that. Quick info about me, who I am, if you're watching for the first time and you're like, who is this? My name is Linda. I'm a travel writer, content creator. I'm also a language teacher. I teach English. I teach German. And I have my own personal website at lindagoeseast.com. Linda Goes East is sort of my name, my handle online, because I have been living in Asia pretty much since 2012. I started out living in China, also teaching English there and doing online marketing over there. And then I moved over to South Korea, and I've been in South Korea since 2015. It's about 8.5 years already. Long time. Time really goes by fast when you move abroad to teach English. You go over and you're like, oh, I'm just going to stay a year or two. And now it's been 8.5 years. So think about this. If you really want to go abroad to teach, you might not go back. I'm originally from Germany and the US. My mom is German. My dad's American. And then ITTT, which is why we're here, stands for International TEFL and TESOL Training. So I also work for them. You can find us at teflcourse.net, the link that I shared with you guys. And let's see. There we go. So I can see everything better. And we are a leading TEFL and TESOL course provider. We're one of the first ones, founded in the 1990s, been around for a long time, have seen the industry, the EFL industry, change and adapt to situations, especially like COVID and things like that. So it's been very exciting. And yeah, that's a quick intro here. And we have Amitava here. How are you doing, Amitava? I'm doing very well. How about you? How's the weather over there? Is it cold? Is it warm? How are you doing? Very nice to see you again, Amitava. And Amitava is always here. Every single live session, Amitava is here. So I appreciate you, Amitava. Thank you so much for always being here. And maybe you have some questions today prepared. Let us know. Again, today is a TEFL and TESOL Q&A session. So you can ask me your questions about TEFL, TESOL, if you're new to this, or if you're looking for a different kind of course, or just some general advice, EFL teaching TEFL advice. So let me know. We can start right away. I'm ready to take on questions, so let me know. I also have some slides that we can go through, and maybe while you think of some questions, and just keep typing them in the comments, and I have my eye on it. First, and this is a very common question that we get for people who are very new to TEFL and TESOL, so I'm just going to start with that. But people say, what's the difference between TEFL and TESOL? Which course should I get? Should I get a TEFL course? Should I get a TESOL course? What's better? And here's my answer to that. So it kind of depends on where you're from or where you want to go. TEFL stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language, and TESOL stands for Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. And so the difference really only is that TEFL is most commonly used within the UK and Europe, the name TEFL, and TESOL is usually the preferred term in Australia and the US and Canada. So that's the difference. Only the name and where it's used, right? It's kind of like tomato, tomato. So they're the same thing. The course content is the same thing. It's just personal preference. If you prefer calling it TEFL or you prefer calling it TESOL. So it doesn't matter. And at ITTT, the really good thing is that you can choose whether or not your certificate should say TEFL or TESOL on it. And as a matter of fact, they say both terms on the certificate. So you're good anyway. You don't have to worry about that, but you can choose that when you fill out, I think, your paperwork with ITTT. You can choose that, so don't worry about that. But that's just first off, right away, want to make that clear so we're all on the same page. We all understand TEFL and TESOL are the same, so don't you worry whether or not you take a TEFL course or a TESOL course, the results are the same, and you get the same course content. So then we also get a lot of questions about where is the demand. So where can I actually go and teach? And there's really no one set answer to this. It depends on many different factors, including your own personal background, your skills, your nationality, sometimes also your age, whether or not you're a fluent English speaker, a native English speaker, all of these things. If you have a university degree, if you don't have a degree, all of these things can influence where you can go to teach. But the demand in general is really, as you can see, like on this map and all the pins, and I should have made those pins in like a brighter color, maybe red or orange, that really pops. But really all over the world. The demand is really all over the world. And yeah. So some hot spots, and actually this is in a different slide somewhere at the back. But there are some hot spots. So let me pull this up. I think, no, just not this slide. Is it this one? No. This one. Yes. So if you look at this. So what can you do with a TEFL or a TESOL, right? Both, same. So it opens obviously exciting opportunities, right? Opens doors to exciting opportunities. Of course, you can teach English abroad online. These are like the two main things. So hotspots for teaching English abroad typically are Asia. Asia is number one, okay? So if you want to teach English abroad, you're going to find the most demand in countries all across Asia. And when we talk about Asia, we typically, and teaching English abroad, we typically divide it between East Asia, which is Korea, Japan, China, sometimes also Taiwan, that is considered East Asia, and then Southeast Asia. So those are countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, all of those places. So, but Asia in general has a high demand. So, but where in Asia you want to go or can go, either East Asia or Southeast Asia. So for East Asia, typically you will need a bachelor's degree. Some of these countries also prefer native English speakers. This is kind of the difference with Southeast Asia. You can also find positions if you don't have a university degree most often, and if you are not a native English speaker. So those are kind of the differences. Another really big hotspot is the Middle East. So think United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, those places. And they are typically also the areas with the highest TEFL salaries. So if you're all about making the most money, a lot of people, for example, they go and teach English abroad right after college to pay off student loans and things. You might want to go to a location that pays the best. So then the Middle East might be a good option for you. Tax-free salaries typically in the Middle East, which is really great, but they also come with a slightly more requirements or stricter requirements. So they want people with degrees, sometimes even master's degrees. They want people with a couple of years experience. So that's something also to note. But again, what I always recommend going to, if you have an idea of where you want to go and teach, go to, and I'm just going to share the screen again so you can see. Go to teflcourse.net, our website. I think you can see it now. And then you want to go over to here where it says jobs. Oh, and then a new window opens. Okay. Okay, so here, this is the TEFL job site. And this is for all people who've already completed a course with ITTT. You can email jobs@tefl.ac for assistance in finding employers and jobs. All ITTT course graduates have job assistance, so take advantage of that. But even before you start your TEFL journey, just come here onto this jobs page. And if you're like, hey, I really would like to teach English in Hong Kong, you click on Hong Kong and you see, for example, let's click on this job, and then you want to see read more. Okay, so then you go here. This is posted. This is actually from August. But the requirements. So you want to look at the requirements. Okay, they want a bachelor's degree. They want a 120-hour TEFL certificate and native level English. So native level does not mean native speaker. Okay, native level can also be a really, really high English proficiency test. Okay, so this is really good. Good to know. You go back. You look at another one. Let's just pick the second one. You go down also to their requirements. Here, qualifications. You must have a degree in any field and either have to be willing to take a TEFL, TESOL, or CELTA, or have extensive teaching experience. Okay? Experience of working with children is preferred. If you're unsure, your qualifications and experiences meet our requirements, send us a CV. Okay? So as you can see, so if you do this for the location that you're interested in, you go over these jobs, look at 3 or 4 different ones, and then you kind of see what are the requirements in this place. And do I have these requirements? Do I have a degree? If you don't have a degree and every job, for example, here, if you want to go to Hong Kong, and every job says you need to have a degree, maybe Hong Kong is not right for you. Then you need to change. You could look at a different country. So that's what I would recommend when you go into that. All right, we have a question from Red Pursuit. Let me have a look. I forgot to ask. Once I complete the 120-hour TEFL, the package says I could do a class. I could do an in-class session after completion. Would I have to pay for that? Okay, maybe you are referring to the. This would be the. Where is that? Specialized. I think that's this one. The CT, what's it called? No? Teaching Practice Recognition course. I think that's what you're referring to. CTPR. Oh, I can't find it now. It used to be in the specialized courses. Maybe it's been taken out. That could also be the case. But, okay. I would get back to the team, your admin, somebody you've been in touch with via email, and ask to clarify. Sometimes, yes, it is a separate thing. So kind of like a specialized add-on that you would have to pay for. Yes. Most likely. I would assume so. Unless sometimes if you pick the 120-hour course with tutor support, with full tutor support, you have a lot of extra benefits and things included. So it might also be included. So make sure you ask them, because I can't find it on the site now. I'm not sure. The site may be changed, to be honest. Could be. Or it's in online courses. Let me have another look. But just double check with them. Sorry, can't answer that right now. You're welcome. Yeah. Usually the admins with all that stuff, they know better. Because sometimes the courses, they do change slightly. So it might be the case here. I have no idea. It used to be in there, and I think that's what it was. But don't quote me on that. And just double check with them. Just ask, and then if it's something you're interested in, do it. If not, then, don't do it. All right, cool. Then getting back to this. So we talked about kind of the hotspots, but keep your questions coming. This is really great. So thank you for asking this question. No. This is not off topic. Today's a Q&A session, so I'm just kind of looking at some slides here, waiting for people to ask questions, basically. So ask your questions. Totally cool. This can be off topic because there's no topic today. The topic is Q&A, so keep your questions coming, anything, and I try my best to answer. So yeah. Then another hotspot is also, we talked about hotspot being Asia, hotspot being the Middle East, and another hotspot definitely is also Latin America. The demand in Latin American countries is very, very high. You're going to find a lot of opportunities over there. If this is your jam, your part of the world, love it. However, with Latin America, be aware that two things. So the salaries tend to be the lowest in out of all of these hotspots, right? So Middle East is kind of the highest, then we have East Asia, then we have Southeast Asia, and then we have Latin America. So it's kind of at the lower end. You're not going to make that much money. However, the requirements for teaching English in Latin America are also less strict. So a lot of people without degrees, non-native English speakers, no experience, all of these people, they can definitely find positions in Latin America. So it might be a great gateway, entry level into the teaching world. And then you get a little bit of experience and you can move on to a other place, for example. Salaries for teaching English abroad, they really, really range. Again, it depends on your personal background. Do you have a degree or not? Do you have a TEFL or not? And then also, obviously, the country and the city where you teach in. So all those things do play a role. So there's no one number. But yeah, it really ranges from 1,000 to 5,000 US dollars. Sometimes, especially Latin American, can be even lower than 1,000 US dollars per month. So it depends. Or some teaching programs, we can also talk about that. They do pay like a stipend, a monthly stipend kind of thing that's under 1,000. It depends. A lot of places, especially these hotspots, Asia and the Middle East, they also offer paid airfare. They pay for your flight ticket to come to the country and then go back home. They also provide housing a lot of the time. You also get health insurance. In some cases, you're also part of the national pension plan. And then you also get various bonuses like contract completion bonuses. If you sign another year, another 2 years, you might get a bonus, things like that. And of course, there's also paid vacation days. So that's set with Teach Abroad. Again, it really varies from country to country. So just browse these job offers. And then we have Teaching English Online, which has become super popular. I see a lot of people are joined now, so welcome. Today's a Q&A session, so just ask your questions about TEFL, TESOL, Teaching English Abroad. Today's your opportunity to ask questions about how it all works if you're new to it. So drop your question in the comment section below and I'll answer it. Thank you. So for Teaching English Online, yeah, it depends on if you're working for or if you're registered with a teaching platform or you do it independently. So teaching platform could be something like VipKid, Preply, all these big one, Magic, what is it called? Magic Ears, all of these places are teaching platforms and they will connect you with students, or you have a teacher profile and students can connect with you there. Independently means you would have your own website. You manage everything yourself. You set your own prices. You do your own marketing to reach students also. So whatever you prefer. A lot of people go with the teaching platforms because the students are already there. So you don't have to do a lot of marketing, a lot of investment or time investment to reach students. And yeah, the salaries can be between 10 and 30 US dollars per hour. So that's also really good. Obviously, when you're doing this independently, you offer your own classes, specialized classes. You can set the price however you want. So that's also really, really good. Yeah. So let me go back to our Q&A slide, and I would really like to answer some of you guys' questions before I move on with the slides. I still have some time here today. We can take some time and, think about some questions. TEFL, TESOL, teaching English abroad. It's a big topic, and it's also a big decision for you guys, right? A big decision whether or not to go abroad, where to go, what do you have to prepare. It's a very big decision, so I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. So, yeah. Okay, AJ is asking, do you need to have classroom experience before teaching abroad? So in most cases, no. In most cases, you don't, actually. It depends on where you go and teach. So I said a couple of minutes ago when we were talking about the Middle Eastern countries, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Oman, these places, they typically have stricter requirements. They also have the highest salaries. And they typically want teaching experience. However, other places like Asia, Latin America, those hotspots, they typically do not require any teaching experience. Teaching experience is always a huge plus, of course, but it's not a requirement. And when I taught English in China, or I'm here in Korea now, most of the teachers that I've met are really had no experience before. I would say 75% of the people that I've met as teachers here came into this completely new, without any experience, and only about 25% were people who had already teaching experience. So definitely not needed before teaching English abroad. Also not needed before taking a TEFL course, because the TEFL course teaches you all you need to know to teach English abroad. So you're very well equipped. Yeah, that's a relief. Yeah, honestly, I know that might be a big concern to people. Hey, I've never taught before. I have no experience. Yeah, but don't let that hold you back. Honestly, most of the people that do this are people with no experience, honestly. Really, the majority of people I've met in schools, they just get in and are completely new to it. And then it takes a couple months, not months, maybe a couple of weeks to get in. If you're like at a school, like a bigger school, that's maybe what I would recommend. So if you're a teacher with no experience, you're completely new to it, pick a school that has like it's a bigger school and has several other English teachers there already, because there's some other schools where you might be the only foreign teacher, and then it might be hard if you've never done this before, right? You have to do a lot of your own planning and lesson planning and things like that, if you're the only foreign teacher there. But if you pick a school that's a little bit bigger, that has a couple of different foreign teachers, then usually there's training. You can ask them. There'd be like a orientation period, a training period. I also had that at my school in Korea. It was like a 2-week training period, and I would sit in with other teachers and like see how they teach, and before then actually doing it myself. So you're not typically left alone. And this is something, that's very important, that you can ask during the job interview, or even before you interview and you do the email and correspondence. Just ask them, how big is your school? How many foreign teachers do you have there? And if they say none, we only have one, then maybe if as a really new teacher, it might not be a good idea to go there. Just because you're not going to have that support from other teachers, because that really helps. Your coworkers are going to be probably your first best friends in this new country. You might come all from the same country, or you share, the same language at least. So they're going to be your first people you hang out with, and they kind of show you around, not only at the school, but also in your neighborhood. They show you where the supermarket is. They show you where the bars are, and you hang out with them. So, if you're new to moving abroad and teaching abroad, I think it's better to pick a school that has teachers already there. So you kind of already are in a good environment when you land. So that would be my advice. Thank you, AJ and Red Pursuit, for the question. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Very good stuff here. And I'm gonna have some coffee. And I apologize for scratching my nose, but I don't know. I have cats, and so sometimes there's just cat hair on my face all the time, and I can't get rid of this one like cat hair. But I think it's fine. Anybody else have cats? Let me know. I'm a huge cat person, but anyway. Yeah. So that is that. Let's see. So we are live on YouTube and on Facebook. Keep your questions coming in the comments section, and I will try my best to answer them. Also based on my own experience and people that I've known, like I said, I taught English in China and Korea. I know people who taught in Japan, Vietnam, Thailand. So a lot of Asia, but also Europe, Latin America, all the places. I would actually like to know from you guys, do I have this question here? Here, maybe this one. Can I ask you guys a question? This is my question for you. So where would you like to teach abroad? What's like your top number one choice of a country to teach English abroad? Where would you like to teach abroad? What's your number one choice of country to go and teach English abroad? Put it in the comments. I'm very curious. Let me know. I know from a few people here, but let me know. Because you guys mentioned it before, but let me know. You can also name like a few countries if you can't decide yet. Okay, there you go. Red Pursuits is Japan, Russia, China. Cool, yeah. So also Asia. Yeah. Love it. Great. So Japan is your number one then? Number one, Japan. Number two, Russia. Number three, China. Or no preference over one another? Cool. Yeah, Japan is also a great place to go. I would also like to live and teach English abroad in Japan for a year or so. I would love that. So I teach English online, and a lot of my students are Japanese too. Most of my students are actually from Japan because the platform that I teach on is mostly Japanese. So that's also actually a really good way if you don't have any teaching experience and you're worried about it, right? We just talked about that. Start teaching English online first before you go. And you can even do this while you're still at school and things. Platforms like the platform that I work for, I'm just going to put it in the comments. It's called Cafe Talk. And that's a mostly Japanese platform. So if you're interested in teaching English in Japan, you could sign up on Cafe Talk. They also don't have minimum hours. You could literally just teach English for an hour a week if you wanted to. And you can connect with Japanese people. Might be cool to kind of get a feeling of how are Japanese students like. Because there are definitely some cultural differences. So that might be something cool to do. Red Pursuit says, I'm a fan of Russian music, so it would be my second place. Cool. Do you also speak Russian? Do you speak Japanese, Russian, Chinese? Do you speak any of the languages? Not that you have to. You don't have to speak the language of the country that you're going to teach English, but I love learning languages, to be honest. So I always, wherever I would move to, I would learn the language before a little bit so that I knew how to order food and just how to say yes and please and thank you and things like that. No, okay. I'm doing Japanese on Duolingo at the moment. It's a lot of fun. I went to Japan a few times, but last time I went was March, April of this year, and before I went, I took 5 Japanese language classes. I think it was 5 or 6 or so with a teacher on a platform, and it was also really fun. Yeah. Thing is with Japan, Russia, China, They all have a different writing system too, right? That's kind of challenging. I see that like with, I actually studied Chinese before. That's kind of how I got interested in Asia. So I started out with learning Mandarin Chinese. And then later when I moved to Korea, I learned Korean. So I'm familiar with different writing systems. And now I started Japanese, which is a whole other thing because they have 3 writing systems, right? So it's different. Yeah, definitely easier to learn like Spanish, Italian, or something like that. All right, AJ says Spain or Portugal, or maybe even Czechia. Those are also really good and popular countries, absolutely. And maybe let me show you this. I don't know if you've heard of these programs. Portugal, no, but Spain and the Czech Republic or Czechia, they have government-funded teaching programs that you might be eligible to apply to for teaching English there. So in Czechia, they have the AIA program. That's a teaching program. And I did a live session a couple of weeks ago about these government programs. And I did mention AIA a little bit more in depth there. You can check it out. But that's one of the programs to apply for. They typically hire either once a year or twice a year for different school terms. So you can check out this website. It's a little bit a weird website, dzs.cz. But you can put it into Google, AIA teaching program in Czechia, and find more information. And then as you can see, the NELCAP is also in Spain. And in Spain, they have a couple of different teaching programs. So you can also Google that. Spain English teaching programs, you're going to find a few. And also in that previous live sessions, I mentioned, I think 2 different ones in Spain as well. So these government-funded teaching programs are also a great way to kind of enter the English teaching world if you're new to it. Typically, these programs are very well structured and organized. For example, here, the EPIC program in Korea, the JET program in Japan, they've been around for decades, and they hire thousands of teachers every year. And so they have an orientation period, they have training, they pick you up from the airport. There's just always like a lot of support there for people. So that might be something to look into for AJ or also for anybody, right? There's so many programs. There's also one in Hong Kong, in Italy, Georgia, France. There's so many. There's also one in Singapore, in Taiwan. So check out this previous live session because I mentioned all of them there. There's more than here now. I need to add those actually. But check them out. Put them into Google. You find that. And you also find the date of application, the deadlines, and also the requirements and all of these things. So check it out. Yeah. Yeah, Philippines. Okay, so what about the Philippines? I forgot to ask about teaching there. Philippines, yes, definitely also a popular country, but I would say with demand, not the top countries in Asia in terms of demand, because English is a official language in the Philippines. So you're actually going to see a lot of English teachers from the Philippines trying to get hired in other countries. So they already have their own pool of English teachers in the Philippines itself. But yes, there is still a demand, but it's more niche, I think, than the other countries because, like I said, English is an official language in the Philippines. So they are typically looking for maybe people with experience, with higher degrees, to then teach maybe more in universities, things like that. So it's a little bit more niche over there. But again, I would go over, maybe I could share this again. Let's have a look. Let's add our job section again here. We go to jobs, and then let's look for Philippines and see what the requirements are. And if it's not even listed here, then it means the demand is not so high. See? So Philippines isn't listed as its own country. So there are not that many jobs there for English teachers. You're going to see when you do like research, especially teaching online, there's actually a lot of Filipino online teachers looking for jobs and things. So they have a lot of English teachers there. So yeah, it's not that big of a demand. Let me see. Where's other Asia? Asia general. So maybe it's in there. Here we have Azerbaijan, Singapore, Mongolia, Cambodia, Palestine. Okay. Don't know if I would go there at the moment, but okay. India. India is also a similar case. That's why it's listed here. India, English is the language there. So see, there's no Philippines. So that tells us the demand is not that high. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Sam. Hey, Sam. Hey, ho, everyone. Hi, Linda. Been a while since I managed to catch a live. Oh, I'm happy you're here, Sam. How are you doing? Yeah. How are you doing? But hey, Red Pursuit, just base yourself in Asia and then you can travel around to all the countries, right? So once you live like in Asia near like a really good airport, you just explore everywhere. You can go anywhere. So yeah. Okay. Okay, Sam, since you're here now, where would you like to teach abroad? What's your number, like your top 3 countries, or if you just have one top country, let me know. Where would you go? And everybody else watching, let me know in the comments. Where would you like to teach abroad? We already heard from AJ, who said Spain or Portugal or maybe even Czechia. And also what I want to add for Czechia, Czechia is actually a really good country to enter, especially as a non-EU citizen or as an American citizen, because you the visa requirements are not as strict there compared to other European countries. So it's much easier to get into Czechia. So that's also why it is recommended. And then we heard from Red Pursuit, who says Japan, Russia, China. So that's cool. How about you other guys here? Sam, everybody else watching, let me know. Put it in the comments. Sam says, I'm good. Thank you. How are you? Congratulations again. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So Sam, tell us, where would you like to teach? What's your number 1 top choice of a country to teach English abroad? Where would you like to go? Sam says, my top 3, Japan, Korea, and I'm not sure about the third. Well, you only need 2. That's fine. Okay, Japan and Korea. Wonderful. So Japan is very popular. Was named twice. Red Pursuit would also like to go to Japan. Nice. Yep. Japan is a very popular country to teach English abroad, for sure. So a lot of people go here with the JET program that you see here on the right. Very popular. Oh, fun fact, I started teaching in Japan. No way. Where in Japan are you? Oh, congratulations. How long have you been there? Tell us everything. How is your school? Please share with us, please. Tell us, Sam. I'm so happy for you. That's amazing. What city are you in? How's the school? How do you like it? How long have you been there? Spill the tea, Sam. Tell us everything. Amazing. That's so cool. And for everybody joining, please also let us know, where would you like to teach English abroad? Red Pursuit. Red Pursuit is South Korea the Hollywood in Asia? Everyone's obsessed with K-dramas and K-pop. I think there are a couple of different Hollywoods in Asia. Bollywood is really huge, right? South Korea is probably the beauty capital of Asia, I would say. A lot of people come to Korea, especially Seoul, to get, plastic surgery, to get skin treatments, all of that. That's what South Korea is pretty popular for, actually. Also K-dramas, K-pop, of course. Yes. Yeah. But I think it's more of like the beauty capital of Asia than a Hollywood of Asia. But yes, it's definitely true. If you walk through a certain neighborhood in Seoul, you're going to see a lot of people with, bandaged noses and bandaged faces who got stuff done, and it's pretty normal. You also see big advertisements of plastic surgery in the subway stations and things like that. It's a little bit bizarre. It can be very bizarre. Amitava, I would like to venture teaching English in Austria, Czechia, and Switzerland in the EU as my first 3 options. Cool. Wonderful. Yeah, Austria and Switzerland, the mountains. I totally understand why you would want to go there. Absolutely understand. Also, maybe, like I said earlier, a couple minutes ago, Czechia might be a really good place to check out. Just because the visa regulations are just easier to get into. So you could, start there, and after a while, you could maybe move to another country in the EU or in Europe. So check out the AIA program also in the Czech Republic. Might be also good for you, Amitava. Check it out. Google it. Here, this one. No, here. I can never do this right because it's like mirrored. I'm confused. Anyway, the first one here on this list, AIA in the Czech Republic. Check out this program. Oh, Sam says, thank you. It wouldn't be possible without you. I'm in Hokkaido. Oh my gosh. Ooh, it's going to be cold soon. It's probably cold already. I've been here a little over a month. I'm teaching at a middle school. There was an adjustment period, but I love it. Ooh, I'm going to be so excited for your first winter. So Hokkaido is like the northern part of Japan, and it's basically a winter wonderland, isn't it? It's going to be beautiful. Do you already have snow? It's November. So people typically have a lot of snow there. But it's magical. Oh, cool. There's going to be so many onsens, right? I have some friends who went to Hokkaido. I've never been to Hokkaido, but some friends of ours, they went to Hokkaido and did a road trip, and they just went from onsen to onsen, and they said they saw so many animals, like wild animals, deer and foxes and everything, just walking around in the wild, and it was magical. Oh, I'm so excited. That's so cool. I think that's also better than, because everybody wants to go to Tokyo or Osaka. That's going to be such a great experience for you, not to be in one of those. I mean, Tokyo and Osaka and whatever is cool. But I mean, I think Hokkaido is going to be such a special experience for you. That's so cool. Okay, northmost, yeah. No snow yet, expected later this month. Well, oh my gosh, please keep us updated. Keep us updated. I'm so curious. And Sam says, and Bollywood and Hong Kong, definitely the film capitals of Asia. Yeah, I think so. And Red Pursuit says, Hokkaido was one of the places I would love to live in. That and Osaka. Yeah. Cool. I had a friend who actually lived in Okinawa for 3.5 years. She also loved it. Very different also than your typical Japan vibe. They have a very unique culture in Okinawa, which is in the very southernmost part of Japan. Very tropical. A lot of people go there, also from Korea. Actually, they go to Okinawa for vacation. So that's also a really interesting place. But yeah, so Japan has everything. Japan has the mountains, the snow, Hokkaido, the Tokyo, and then Osaka, the big cities. But it also has the tropical islands like Okinawa. So there's something for everybody in Japan as well, which is really cool. Let's see, Amitava. Linda, as regards to the government-funded programs for teachers in the EU, how much are the duration of these programs to acclimatize and adjust? I also wonder whether these programs are chargeable or free for the participants. Who pays for the airline's fare and the living, lodging costs also for the participants? Okay. It depends on the program, but typically the duration of the program is like 1 school year. So this could be 10 months, 12 months, could also be longer than that, but typically it's 1 year. A lot of times in the EU, it would be September to June or July. That's how the school years go in the EU. And then depending on the program, you would get a stipend, you would get paid, you would also get housing, you would get your flight paid for, sometimes not. So it depends on the program. So go and look up the programs and exactly what they offer. Typically, there's no fee that you need to pay for the program. But sometimes you have to pay your own airplane tickets, things like that. But sometimes they also pay for it. So it depends on the program. They're all different. They all have different things, different benefits, so check that out. But typically, you don't have to pay a fee for that. It just depends on the different benefits and how much the pay is. Yeah. Yeah, Sam says Okinawa is probably the most American place in Japan. Yes, definitely you have your bases there and military there. Yes, so it's probably the most American place in Japan. But they also have a very unique, their own unique culture, from what I've heard from my friend. So Okinawans, they really see themselves kind of not as Japanese. So they have their own culture, their own language, from what I understand. They also look a little bit different from your mainland Japanese people. So it's very interesting. You have your both things. You have the very traditional Okinawan culture, but then you also have a little bit more Americanized places, and sometimes that can be also good for you. That's sometimes what I miss, right? Good food from back home and things like that. So if you live there, you have the best of both worlds. You have your home, food from back home and things, and you can connect with people from back home, but you also have the other side, the Japanese Okinawan side, maybe. I've never been, I don't know, but just from what my friend told me and what I've seen from her pictures and from her experiences. Cool. All right. Anybody who joined who has not put that in the comments yet, please do so. So where would you like to teach abroad? Where is your top country, top choice, or top 3 if you can't decide? Okay, Sam says, forget prefecture to prefecture. You can see a difference from ward to ward. I'm looking forward to exploring all of it when I get time off. Amazing. Please keep us updated, Sam. Sounds amazing. I'm very excited for you. Sounds like you're having a great time, and Hokkaido is going to be so magical now. It's a great time. Maybe do some skiing if you do, or, go to all the onsens and eat all the good food for us. We'll be there with you in spirit, or like from far away, celebrating with you. Amazing. All right, cool. Well, we are coming to the 1 hour mark, which is typically the end. So if there's any questions about teaching English abroad that you still want to ask before we sign off here, do so now. Now is your last chance before we say goodbye. This was really good. Good session, guys. Thank you so much for all of your feedback and your input and where you want to teach, and Sam's adventure in Japan. I'm very happy about it. Amitava, good luck for your journey going to the EU or going to Europe. Look up the programs that might help. The AIA program in the Czech Republic. Red Pursuit, also maybe the JET program in Japan might be a good choice. So let us know. Yeah. Culturally, I think Turkey might be a good place to teach. I will live it for everyone. Live it for everyone. Yeah, live Hokkaido for us. Turkey might be very interesting as well, especially like a place like Istanbul, between Europe and Asia and Istanbul. I really want to go to Istanbul one day. It seems like a really cool city. So Yeah, I'd be interested. I want to go everywhere, to be honest with you. I want to go everywhere. Cool. All right. Well, I'm just going to wait a couple more seconds here to see if somebody has a question. Okay. AJ, you probably get this question a lot, but is there a preferred certification between TEFL and TESOL, or does it depend on the country of the program? That's something I actually said in the beginning, in the very beginning of this live session. So let me go back to this slide. You might have missed that. Maybe you weren't there yet. So TEFL, TESOL, we get this question a lot. Yes. So the only difference, so as you can see here, TEFL stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. TESOL stands for Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. The difference is really only where it's used. So it's like tomato, like what I said earlier. TEFL is most commonly used within the UK and Europe. That's where they just say TEFL or call it TEFL. And then in North America, Australia, New Zealand, they call it TESOL. So it's your own personal preference, whether or not you want to call it TEFL or you want to call it TESOL, or you can make it, dependent on where you want to go. In Asia, they typically know both TEFL and TESOL. There's no big preference. So the course content is the same. You learn the same. The course is the same. The certificate is the same. It just depends on your personal preference if you want to call it TEFL or TESOL. That is it. Hope that answers your question. We're like full circle now. That's how I started. This is how we end. Perfect. Appreciate it. And it's just the same. I really want to go to Istanbul and everywhere. Yes, me too. Everywhere is on my list for sure. Hope one day we'll make it. I want to do one day. Actually, I don't know. I always wanted to go on this world cruise, so cruise around the world. But now I don't really like the idea of being on a ship for that long anymore. I don't know. I've never really went on a cruise. I don't think a cruise is for me, to be honest. Maybe if someone's here, a cruise person, let me know. But I don't know. Anyway. AJ says, oh, that makes a lot more sense. I thought there were differences in the content or something, but it's good to know that they're the same. Yes, they are the same. Yeah, no difference. So, and then before we go, I just want to mention this one more time, our discount. So again, we have a 30% off discount code. If you're not yet certified, you want to start. Yes, there are flight packages for around the world. I might do that. Cruises scare me. Yes, they scare me, especially during COVID and all the people were stranded on this cruise ship and they all got infected. No, not for me. No. And then those days on the cruise where all you see is water around you, I just couldn't. I think I would freak out. I couldn't do it. Anyway, not the topic of today, but yeah. So 30% off if you're not yet TEFL or TESOL certified. You want to start the journey. Now is actually a great time. It's November. You finish the course maybe beginning of next year, and then you're ready to apply to all of these jobs, all of the teaching programs. It's perfect time to get started with all of this. The weather is getting colder maybe where you are, wherever you live. It's getting colder here, so it's a good time to just sit in, study. It's not like summer, you want to go out, and do stuff. It gets colder. It's more cozy at home, and it's a good time to study, depending on where you live in the world. But yeah, so 30% off. You can scan this QR code, or I'm going to share the link with you guys again in the comment section. Just copy paste this link, and you get a 30% off discount code. Yeah, it looks like this. Ends with FB Live minus Linda. And then it's the right course. You sign up whenever you're ready, whenever you know which course is right for you. And now we hit the 1 hour mark of this live session, which means it's time to say goodbye. So I'll be back again next week with another topic. If you have any topic suggestions, let me know as always in the comments. And then I think that's it. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Stay happy, stay healthy. Crazy times at the moment in the world, so stay healthy, stay happy. Go out for walks. Take care of your mental health, everybody. I think that's very important these days. And other than that, I'll see you again next week, I hope. Have a wonderful weekend. And that's it from me. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And Sam, drink some sake for us in Hokkaido and dip into an onsen and have the time of your life. Thanks. Bye.